Well, one of the crazy things about organizations is they will go out and buy another organization. That other organization kicked their butt at something or got into a marketplace that they couldn't get into. It was capable of doing something that they couldn't. And they have tried a couple times to get into that market space, and rather than do that, they just buy another company. And then what they do is they put their culture on top of that other company. And it was their culture that didn't act, what made it where you couldn't get it done to begin with, right? And there's some cases where the other company's just busted and you're buying the IP and you know you're going to blow it up. But it's kind of crazy. You see this a lot where a company will buy, Google, where they buy another company and they don't know what to do with it. And they either crush the culture or they crush the product, and they just lose the recipe on what they were doing. And so this blows my mind, right? Companies smother the culture that they purchase with something, and then they kill the product on top of that, or the culture change actually kills that also. The example I actually remember from the 80s, which I must have been like 4 years old at the time, was this company called Roll. And IBM went and bought Roll, and they had one of these quality of life campuses where they had, back in the 80s, they had gyms, and they had a swimming pool, and they had a track, and they had all this cool stuff, right? And the company did really well. They were like #1 in their field, and IBM bought it. And the first thing the IBM guys said, and they were guys back then, and when they showed up in their suits to this super casual place, is they said, "We're not here to drain the pool." And to me, that has always been a metaphor for what companies do to other companies when they buy them. They drain the pool. They drain the culture. They change the way it operates. No, I'm not talking about Elon Musk with Twitter. I'm just saying in general, right? Like, they just change the culture and they crush it. And oh, by the way, IBM eventually did drain the pool. So I think the interesting thing is, and I'm really curious to see what other people think, what are examples where a company bought another company and they retain the culture? Now, Berkshire does this a little bit. They tend to buy companies and leave them to run themselves. So I don't know if it's really a good example, because like Warren Buffett's super old. So like, would he get this? Yeah, he's pretty smart. So maybe that is what they do. Or maybe I don't read it right. You know, there's those. And then the other one I thought of was Steve Jobs going back to Apple. They bought Next. But that was sort of like the Night of the Long Knives, where the people that got bought killed off everybody that was there to begin with and took over. So I'm curious. Maybe there are other places. But I can't think of any Google ones where they bought a company, kept the culture, kept the product, and just knocked it off. Oh, maybe Facebook with Instagram. I don't know. What are your ideas? I'm looking for feedback. Have a great day.